Hey, CMattDye here. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the video. And today I want to talk about the top 5 CNFT projects of the week. We know that Cornucopias just minted recently. So let's get into the top 5. So first of all, I always like to start out with volume. So let's get into that. So day over day, it's up slightly. Trades and NFTs sold as well over the past 7 days, week over week. You can see volume is up a little bit. Trades are down. NFTs sold are down. So probably has something to do with the cornucopias mint. People were, minting higher prices, and higher prices were being bought, even though the trades and the NFTs sold are down. If you look at the volume, it's decent. It's not the worst thing in the world, but not really awesome. If you look at month over month, which is the more important number, it is down. It's NFTs traded and sold are both down, just like they were week over week. And if we go to the overall volume, this is what I like to look at, you can see that it is pretty terrible. You can see it jumped over a million here briefly on the 27th, which was yesterday, and then it dropped right back down, and volume is just doing terrible. And you can see a lot of these projects are struggling to mint. You have a few that just sell out instantly, like Cornucopias, but the majority of them are kind of struggling. So let's go to the top 5. And no surprise, at the top 5, most of your volume is going into Cornucopias. The dome mint that just happened, you have the Cornucopias land sell. Some people were picking that up, probably because some people were trying to get some liquidity for the domes, I'm assuming. So picked some of that up. Chilled Kongs is number 3. So Chilled Kongs is still holding the top 5 spot. Jesus 2 and Book Token. So very interesting. I was talking about Book Token a few weeks ago with somebody. It's kind of interesting. I don't know a lot about it, but that's not what I talk about anyway. So let's get into what is going on with the floors and these projects. So number 1 is Cornucopia's Dome. And you can see all-time high sells 23,000. These guys just minted recently. Floor price is down at 410. And they have a couple different tiers of domes. So you can see that the floor kind of cratered here. Everyone was trying to list everything high, and then the floor kind of cratered. Of course, your legendaries, your top tier are going for 20, 23,000. Somebody was trying to get a loan for one for 20,000 earlier on Fluid Tokens site, I believe. But definitely interesting, and you can see that the floor kind of dropped, and now it's trying to find itself, and it's trying to find itself over 400. I would assume in this market, maybe 400 might be an area where it could kind of base and find itself, but really just have to wait and see on that and see what happens. It's going to be interesting, especially since a lot of land has sold at higher prices. You had a 20,000, a little over 20,000, 23,000. So you've had some decent sales. So it's going to be very interesting to see what actually happens with that. Then you have the Cornucopias land sell, the zones 1 through 3. Now this minted a while back. If you look over here around early June, and you can see floor prices at 158 currently, all-time high sell of 53,000. So that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a big number. So you can see, however, that the floor is kind of going down a little bit. So it's trying to find itself. It definitely has not found itself. And it's possible around this 150 level, it could find itself. I really just don't know on this one. It could go lower. Look at 150, and if it drops below that, watch 100. I would assume one of those numbers would be the floor, but we can't really assume things. And right now on this chart, I just can't really get a good read. If it doesn't hold 150, I don't really know what it's doing. So we'll have to kind of wait and see on that. But I would expect if it did break 150 to hold 100. If it gets under 100, then it's definitely a good time to pick some up. I don't really see that happening, but if it did, be a great time. So that's what I'm seeing on that. Next, chilled Kongs. Chilled Kongs, again, favorite of the channel, all-time high sell of 135,000. Floor is currently at 1,900. Now, last video I talked about that 1,500 to 1,800 being a decent floor area. So let's drop down here to the actual chart, and we can see 1,549 was the minimum sell. It looks like the floor mostly stayed around 1,600, but now it's pushing up off of that a little bit. So that was very interesting. It did drop down. It did find that support. Now it's trying to push up a little bit. I kind of want to see what it's going to do, but at the moment, I really do like that 1,800 zone to be able to pick up some Kongs at really good prices. It's possible that it could drop a little more, but I think there's enough people behind Kongs that there's a good chance it stays over that 1,500 level. So 1,500, 1,800, that I'm definitely liking that zone. So next, Jesus 2. I don't like the name of the project, a little sacrilegious maybe, but I don't know anything about the project. Art is a little juvenile. Floor is 159 and a 5,000 all-time high sell. Now, I've said this before that some projects, they're one of one, might go for 5,000. Someone's just trying to buy it and wait on it. Like Ape Society, someone bought the one of one for 5,000, ended up flipping it for 100,000. I've seen projects, somebody comes in, buys for 5,000, and the project might not do anything. It might actually go down a little bit. Usually it'll go up, but I've seen that. So 5,000 doesn't scream to me it's a great project. However, there's only 22, 27 minted, 501 holders. That's a pretty good ratio. If we go down here, you can see that it was around 85 floor, and then it dropped into the 50s, the upper 50s and 60, and now it's pushing up off of that. So that actually looks pretty good. And now it's trying to get over that 150 level. Right here was 90. So if it comes back down, if it stayed over 100, I would be pretty happy with that. I don't know anything about the project, but everything's looking pretty good. Let's go to activity, just because I don't know much about the project. So activity will tell me a little bit. If it wants to up, so 157, 66. Okay, this is not on the floor here, so that's good. It's taking a little while for this to load, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'll just say it like that. I don't want to say anything bad about the website. But anyway, so you have a couple cells above the floor. That's decent. So, maybe it's a good time to look into this project and do a little deep dive on it. If you guys want me to do that, put a comment in the comment section below and I can do that. So next is book token, and I'm going to do a deep dive into this one whenever I get more time. It's interesting. Like I said, I talked to someone about it a few weeks ago and it caught my attention. So we're going to talk about it a little bit more in the future. If we look down here, 250 was a minimum sell. That was the floor, and it just gradually increased and then started to move higher and just took off to the upside. That is very interesting. I do think that book token can have a lot of value. You can see that 10,000 were minted and there are 707 holders. That's a little bit scary, which means now that it's run up, you could have some people selling, especially in this market, wanting liquidity. So I wouldn't be a buyer up here personally. I'd be looking for price to come down again, and right around that 1,000, 1,300 ADA level could be a possible support zone if it were to come down. Like I said, I'm going to do a deep dive in hopefully a few days on the channel. So that will be interesting. Should be a lot of fun for me. And also, let you guys kind of know a little bit about the project. And, I like to do a summarize the project. So you guys don't really have to go in and do your own research. You can check out the video. And if you're interested, then you can go do your own research. I think that's a win-win for everybody. So anyway, that is the top 5. Now, what did I do this week? I picked up a couple more pugs. I minted Space Otter Society, sold it, did decently. Minted Stink Ape Society. Selling a couple of those currently. I haven't sold yet, but I did pick up some really good ones. So I'm definitely going to make a little bit more than what I paid for them, and then have a couple that I'm just going to hold for a long time. I like the guys over there. I did a interview with them, and I'm probably going to end up doing a little summary of the project as well. But I interviewed them prior to mint, so if you want to check that out, I'll have that linked in the description as well. So that's kind of what I did. I did buy a couple more seals. I really like Seal Society. I'm a moderator over there. Also, I have my own Discord coming out. It should be linked in the description below if you want to check it out. It's going to be based on an NFT project that I'm coming out with, and there's going to be quite a bit of utility. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces. So if it's something you would be interested in, or you think you might be interested in, check it out below, and then share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. So with that, thanks for watching. Have an awesome rest of your day. I'll see you around the markets. Take care.